Hello and welcome to the Sixth Form Information Morning. My name's Sam Baldock and I'm the Deputy Head Academic. Normally this morning we would all be together, boys and families, in a big lecture space, but you'll understand that for today we're going to be doing this by video. This first video will introduce some of the choices that we'll be asking you to make for the Sixth Form, and we'll follow a few boys from the current Fifth Form as they interview teachers and current Upper Sixth pupils about the Sixth Form and about some of the choices to be made. Moving into the Sixth Form is a really important and exciting time. This is likely to be one of the first big decisions that you've made about the kind of things that you might want to study in the future, and it will determine the next phase of your academic life. It's also probably the first time that some kind of threshold has been set, in that we'll be asking you to achieve certain grades to follow certain courses in the Sixth Form. So I'll start by reminding you where you are in the journey and to reassure you that the purpose of this morning is not to choose your final Sixth Form subjects. This is very much an information gathering morning, and much more will follow over the coming months. There are 5 key things that will happen before next February when we ask you to choose the courses and let us know the kind of things that you'd like to do in the Sixth Form. The first step, and some of you may have started this already, is a careers interview with an independent careers guidance counsellor following the Moresby test that you took last term. And boys, please remember to share the results of your Moresby test and your Unifil profile with your families so you can have those conversations at home as well. We'll also give you another careers and subject choices interview this term, either with me, with the headmaster, or with another senior teacher. And this will be an option to talk in more detail about the kind of things that really motivate you, and so the choices that you might like to make for the Sixth Form. Also importantly this term, please do talk to your teachers and to heads of departments about your own progress and their advice on the kind of subjects that you might want to follow in the Sixth Form. Next term, there'll be 2 final steps. You'll do your mock exams in January, and these will be helpful not only in the marks that you achieve, but as you prepare for those subjects, you might discover that some subjects have really come alive in ways you hadn't expected. And the other thing next term is a parents' evening with you and your families to be able to talk about your progress, what we need to do to get you really match fit for those GCSEs, but also the kind of subjects to take in the Sixth Form. So the first and most important decision you need to make by that February half term is which subjects you'd like to study in the Sixth Form. And ask yourselves the following questions. Am I interested in the subject? Do I enjoy the subject? Do I need a particular subject or combination of subjects for a university or career future decision? What are the skills that I might need to succeed in those subjects, and has my progress to date suggested I might have those skills? There are some new subjects to follow, things like philosophy in the IB or things like music technology in the A-level programme. So ask yourself, are any of those new subjects ones where I would like to use my talents and my interests? The second decision that you need to make is whether you would like to follow the IB diploma in the Sixth Form or the A-level programme. And this decision should be considered as secondary to subject choices. Choose the subjects first. Because your subjects, whether at higher level at IB or A-level, these are the most important things. It's what you'll be spending most of your lessons in the week doing. There are many more similarities than differences between the 2 IB and A-level programmes. Both are academically enriching and challenging. They have a similar number of taught periods, and all of your games, your tutor time, clubs and societies, university applications, the exciting stuff about the Sixth Form is the same regardless of which route you choose. Particularly for parents and guardians, the IB diploma may be more unfamiliar, so please do have a good look at the section of the website with the IB guide that has some commonly asked questions about the diploma and some more information about those courses and how the assessment works. In summary, those students that choose the IB diploma are saying that they think that holistic education is really important. And it should be said that the UK is fairly unusual in asking students to narrow their choices quite so early. Most countries, and with students your age, continue to study a diverse range of subjects and acquire skills in lots of areas. The IB is an internationally recognised qualification, which is very helpful in our growing international economy. And it's unaffected by UK government interventions. The International Baccalaureate Organisation makes choices about curriculum and assessment. The A-level programme, on the other hand, is probably more familiar to boys and families, but arguably presents a slightly higher risk route in the sixth form, in that you are studying fewer subjects in greater depth and with quite high stakes terminal exams. We're often asked which programme, the IB diploma or A-level, is preferred by universities. And the answer is that universities are well used to processing applications from students across the world presenting very, very different qualifications. So there is no stated preference for one over the other. The answer that doesn't relate so much to admissions as to outcomes is that universities have found that students who took the IB diploma in the sixth form are slightly more likely to get a 2-1 or first in their degree. And this is usually put down to the fact that the mode of assessment at IB, more coursework, more shorter exams along the way, is more similar to the way that most universities now assess their qualifications. In terms of admissions, our experience has been that we've had slightly more IB boys than A-level boys get offer from the most competitive universities, so slightly more for the universities of Oxford and Cambridge, for example, but it really does come down to the boys and the courses. If you know you want to read pure mathematics at university, then the A-level course is probably better because you can do further maths, and spend half of your time studying mathematics. If, however, you're thinking about engineering, you might find that the wider skills developed in the IB diploma, alongside higher levels in mathematics and physics, would make for a more compelling application. This video will end with some more advice and guidance on university applications, careers, and how to make your sixth form choices. So, let's meet the fifth formers who are going to be helping us with our decisions by asking some questions.
Hi, I'm Max Pearson. I'm in fifth form and I'm in Ashburnham, and I'm here to talk to some teachers today about A-level and IB.
Hi, I'm Cole Balachandran. I'm in St Peter's in the fifth form, and I'm also here to talk to some teachers about IB and A-level.
I'm Divine, and I study the IB in the upper sixth, and I'm taking philosophy, chemistry and bio as my higher level, and Spanish, maths and English as my standard level.
Hi, I'm Kieran. I'm in upper sixth in Ashburnham, and I do biology, English, literature and history at high level, and maths, Spanish and economics at standard level.
I'm Antonio. I'm in the sixth form. I'm in Bromham House and I'm studying at A-level, and my 4 A-levels are history, English, maths and Latin.
So what's the main difference between IB and A-level?
I think people are perhaps less familiar with the IB, and the difference between the IB and A-level is that the IB has breadth. So in the IB you have to do 6 subjects, 3 subjects at high level and 3 subjects at standard level, and you must do a science, you must do a humanities subject, you must do English, you must do a foreign language, and then there's the option to do an additional subject to make up a really broad curriculum. So 3 subjects at high level and 3 subjects at standard level. Plus there's the addition of a subject called Theory of Knowledge, which is like a little philosophy course within the IB, an extended essay, and something called CAS, Creativity, Activity and Service.
Okay, so the A-level route involves studying 4 subjects at A-level in the lower 6th year, and then you've got the opportunity to continue those 4 into the upper 6th or reduce the curriculum and focus on 3 subjects in the upper 6th year. And a little like the IB, there are opportunities, it's not called the extended essay, but we offer the BSIP, which is the Bedford School Independent Project. And that involves students being able to kind of form their own research question, and engage in some sort of critical thinking on a topic of their choice, a bit like the extended essay in IB. That can be developed into the extended project qualification as well. Again, a little bit like the IB, there are opportunities for a community partnership work as well, similar to CAS.
So how did you decide what course to follow?
What I really enjoy in the IB. You can explore different possibilities. You can. It's quite different from the A-level in that you focus more on 4 subjects. In the IB, you can develop qualities as an individual that will be very useful in the future. So that's the main reason I chose the IB.
And for me, I chose A-level unlike these guys. Basically, for me, I found that I got the kind of breadth I wanted from my 4 subjects, because I was doing history, English, maths and Latin, like I said before. And that gave me kind of broader curriculum at the same time, and it also allowed me to focus on what I wanted to do at university.
So is IB more work than A-levels?
Well, in the IB, obviously there are more subjects, but there is less content in those subjects. In your 3 high-level subjects, you would go into as much depth as A-level, but there wouldn't be as much content. And the high-level subjects would be harder than GCSE, but nowhere near the content of an A-level. So possibly slightly more work, but don't think because 6 subjects doesn't necessarily mean more work than 4 subjects because there's not as much content in the courses. Okay?
Now, I think that both routes are a similar level of work and a similar commitment.
An important thing to add about the IB is that there is coursework in every subject, which means that although you're working consistently through the IB course, and when you get to the exams, you've already covered at least 25% and sometimes 50% of the course by the time you get to the exams. So there's more sustained work, and perhaps the work counts more during the course through the IB.
So not all A-level subjects have coursework. They're linear courses with high stakes exams at the end of the 2-year course.
Before I joined the 6th form, it was quite general. Everyone thought the IB was more work than the A-level. But doing the IB, I've come to find that it's quite similar in the teaching and also in the amount of work you do. So throughout the year, you're going to do basically the same amount as the A-level, in the upper 6th as well. So there's not much difference. So when choosing your course, don't look at whether one course has more work than the other. Just focus more on the benefits of the course and how the course is going to improve you as an individual.
So IB wasn't an option for me before, but then I joined here doing the IB, and I told my friends about it last year, and they're all doing like college courses or A-levels, telling them about 6 subjects, and it was always, how can you manage 6 subjects and all of this? But what I found was I had equal amount of free time to them, so I could go to football matches, go out with them whenever I wanted to, without any added pressure of work, which I found quite nice.
So, sir, you mentioned theory of knowledge earlier. What actually is theory of knowledge?
Well, some of you will have done a little bit of theory of knowledge in the removed form, but theory of knowledge as a subject is at the heart of the IB diploma. It's like a little philosophy course. It's a space in the course where students can ask questions about knowledge, how do they know things, and what are the differences between the different subjects that they study, and how can they make links between the different subjects that they study. So I think it's a really good course. I think it's a really important point of reflection, and it builds skills like critical thinking.
For me, theory of knowledge is probably one of my favourite subjects, because it gives you the sort of ability and opportunity to just think introspectively. So for some of the questions that I've done last year on sample essays about what is progress and change, which ignites such big debate in the class, and it really allows you to get like deep into your critical thinking skills, which can be really useful when you use it for other subjects as well. Talk about history, for example, and all the different perspectives. So I find it really useful for aiding my other courses as well.
So how did you choose your combination of subjects?
Well, I just chose 2 things came to mind when I was picking my subject. One is what I enjoy, and of course, whatever you enjoy, it will mean it was less onerous work for me, and that was the case with my 4 subjects. And also I had to bear in mind what I needed to do, and what I wanted to do at university, and therefore the requirements for that subject. So I wanted to go and do PPE at university, so to do that, really you needed maths. So I chose maths, but I also enjoyed maths, so that helped in making that choice. And that was the same with other subjects like history, which I really enjoyed to that point. So that's really how I did it.
So one thing you want to consider when you're choosing your subjects is not necessarily to think that choosing 2 arts and 2 science subjects is going to keep your options open. That could be the case if you go on to do some arts or social science courses at university, but you might find with some sort of science courses, for example, that there are more competitive applicants that have taken 3 sciences and maths at A level, for example.
So how did you choose which subjects you wanted to do as high level and which ones you wanted to do as standard level?
Well, for me, at uni I wanted to do medicine, so choosing subjects that are like the foundation of medicine, for example, maths, chemistry, biology, will really aid you studying that course in the university and make your application more competitive in the long run. So when choosing your high-level subjects, make sure you pick subjects that are related to the course you're going to study at university.
I really enjoy my essay subjects. So I've done history and English literature, which really allow me to hone in on those writing skills. Because I want to do history at university, which is very content like essay based. So if I could fine-tune my writing skills, that would be fantastic. So I chose those 2 for high level. So on top of those essay subjects, I also do science. I do biology of my own choice, because I've always been interested in biology, and that allows me to continue that interest alongside the history and English from my university course as well.
Why did Bedford boys start studying 4 A-levels as opposed to 3?
So we've got sort of 2 reasons for this. The first is it's in keeping with our educational philosophy here. We believe in breadth, and I think that studying 4 A-levels gives you sort of transferable skills and kind of can enhance your ability and your performance in other subjects because of that. Also, we believe in education for education's sake, not just because there's an exam at the end of the course. The second reason is just really because generations of boys who absolutely knew which 3 subjects they wanted to study at A-level have changed their minds, particularly those taking one of the new subjects, so economics, business studies, music technology, government and politics, for example. These aren't subjects you study at GCSE. It gives you that little bit more flexibility, and it's not unusual for boys to end up applying to university to study the subject that they thought when they started was their 4th subject.
So what's it like being in 6th form at Bedford School?
It's not like GCSEs where you have a set text to study or something like that, but in 6th form you can explore the subject and kind of find your interest in the subject as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. You get a lot more freedom when you're in 6th form. Obviously, to go beyond the curriculum, you do the EE for IB, the extended essay, and we get the option to do an EPQ. And also it helps that there's smaller class sizes, so you get more contact with your teachers, which is useful.
Yeah, and now my biggest class size is 10. I think with the smaller class sizes, what I found was much more focused on the individual and more tailored specifically for you.
So we've talked a lot about the academic side of things, but what's life in the 6th form like outside of the classroom?
Well, you do get more freedoms. You can definitely tell there's a difference between people in the years below and people in 6th form. Obviously, it could be from little things like getting to go to lunch earlier, to having your own room dedicated for 6th form in your day houses, which is where you go, where particular houses have their own kind of common area. But also that comes with responsibility. Divine, you could talk about that.
So responsibility, in low 6th you have as much responsibility as you do in upper 6th as well. So 6th form generally you're at the top of the school, so you kind of you have to form the pathway for the younger boys as well. So 6th form will give you that kind of responsibility you need for the future as well as for now, and you can improve on your behaviour and kind of influence younger boys.
So what advice do you wish you'd been given when you're about to start 6th form?
I would say take every opportunity that comes your way, because 6th form is just 2 years, so it's going to go by like very quickly. So every opportunity that comes your way, just take it as it goes, and after you take the opportunity, more opportunities will come to you as well. And also, I would say choosing subjects you generally love, as well as thinking ahead of universities as well, because during sixth form you will get deep into the subjects. So if you choose something you generally love, you don't need to concentrate on getting the work done. You concentrate on enjoying the subject and enjoying your life in sixth form.
I think it's very important to be open-minded, and that's what I wish I was told, because it's very easy to be swayed in different directions from all of your friends who do different things, have different interests to you, and it's very important to be true to yourself, not be swayed by other people, and you know what's right for you at that age. And I think be open-minded, don't turn something down because it's not what everyone else is doing. I think be true to yourself and enjoy the opportunities that come your way is one thing that I think is incredibly important.
Yeah, and I'd say just don't get bogged down, and just enjoy the time you have here. As Divine said, you've only got a couple of years, and you want to be able to experience what you can, because here at Bedford you have world-class facilities, from the Olympics, our swimming pool, everything like that, and you don't want to waste that. You want to be able to use it to its potential.
Hi, I'm here with Mrs. Lincoln, and I'm going to be talking to her about choosing my subjects for sixth form.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Lincoln, Head of Careers in Newcastle, and although Careers is infused throughout your school career, it's at these crucial points in the fifth form and in the lower sixth and upper sixth where the Careers department really comes to the fore.
So what advice would you give me for choosing my subjects?
The advice that the Careers department give for choosing subjects is pretty much the same for A-level or IB. We ask you to choose subjects that you are genuinely interested in, the lessons that you look forward to going to, the subjects that you think maybe you will do best in because you enjoy them. Now this can sometimes lead to some interesting combinations, and that's when we then have to see A-levels and IB as a stepping stone, and we start asking you to think a little bit further ahead to the long run. Where do you want to be beyond Bedford? But in answer to the initial question, it's what do you enjoy and what do you think you'll be happy doing for 2 years at a higher level and a deeper level.
So what would your advice be for if I don't know what I'm going to do when I leave school?
Many boys don't know what they want to do when they leave school, even when they leave school. So we have plenty of opportunities throughout the fifth form and the sixth form to help guide you in these directions. So again, the advice is pretty similar. Go for the subjects that you enjoy. We try and encourage boys, whether they're doing A-level or IB, to keep doors open, to try not to close too many doors, so that careers are available to you.
So what if I don't want to go to university?
Many boys don't. We increasingly, year on year, we are seeing boys applying for degree apprenticeships, and we've been incredibly successful in this area. We have boys who have gone to EY, amongst others, JP Morgan, building companies, but they are getting a degree alongside working on the job and getting paid. Mrs. Fox-Johnson, who works with me in the careers office, is the expert in this area, and that starts early on in the lower six, doing research there. There are opportunities to go direct into work. We have 1 or 2 boys that do that every year, and again, it's suited to your character. It's a specific choice. Most boys do the UCAS process, which is the University College Admissions Service, either as Plan A or Plan B. We have a number of boys that go to overseas universities as well. So we've had boys going to Japan, we've had boys going to various European unis, but more exciting, we've had numbers increasing of boys being successful getting into universities in the USA. And every year that number is growing. So the other options would be an art foundation course or a music conservatoire, drama courses, trying to get into RADA, So we are equipped in school with enough expertise amongst the staff and in the careers office to help you think of multiple pathways beyond Bedford. And then as you go through the process of decision making, both for your A-level and IB subjects, and subsequently what pathway beyond Bedford, we try and narrow it down to at least 2 pathways, plan A, plan B. And most boys will go through the UCAS process unless they're absolutely sure. So we've had pilots, we've had engineers, we've had musicians, we've got them spread all over the world at 18. It's an amazing opportunity. So I would, as I say, when you're choosing your subjects, going back to that, focus really on what you enjoy, because the choices after that are phenomenal for you.
Okay, so everyone's saying do what you enjoy, including yourself. So I'm asking for a friend here. How important should a future salary be, taken into consideration?
Most boys I talk to are focused on future earnings, and that's fair enough. You want to be able to provide for yourself, to have the material things that you have enjoyed whilst living with your parents. You don't want to be in a lot of debt. There's a lot of noise about going to work in the city and retiring by the time you're 30 and earning your first million by 25. That's all quite unrealistic. Earnings are not necessarily linked directly, as you would think, to certain subjects. So for instance, if you want to become something in the city, be it an investment banker, going into reinsurance, something like that, you could still follow your desire to study philosophy at Durham. 97% of employers are degree agnostic, which means that they don't actually mind what you've done, so long as you've done it really well, a first or a 2-1 at university, and you've done it at the top university that you can get to. And that you've shown whilst you're there an interest in the community and that you've gained valuable work experience, which is another key factor to getting a job. So again, even with degrees, unless you have a specific vocation, like you want to be a doctor, you want to be a vet, I think it's following your passion again, because if you do that for 3 years, 4 years, recommended, because combined degrees are really good with a placement year in industry or abroad, you can actually increase your ability to earn by being passionate and enthusiastic about what you've done and actually achieving the best you can at university. Entrepreneurial spirit at Bedford School is incredibly high, and we have found that looking at the salary earnings of our old Bedfordians, actually a lot of it has come from starting off in one industry and using the entrepreneurial spirit and the Bedford School courage to move forward and create your own companies. So the sky is the limit in terms of earnings, but it shouldn't be a primary consideration at this stage.